As I always do, I like to make sure that we're live because a live stream is no good if you're not live. Waiting for it to show up on Facebook. Oh, isn't that cute? Look at my memory. Come on. We are looking for going live. A little bit of Red Hot Chili Peppers. I know you guys love that so much. Yep, looks like we're live on Facebook, and now just waiting for a little bit of YouTube action. Yep, YouTube is now live too, guys, so here we go. Hey, guys, this is Jim Gass, and I'm sitting here with DJ Meyer and Benny Del Val. Guys, say hi.
Hey, good morning.
And we are the founders of No Law Firm Left Behind. And what are we doing here at No Law Firm Left Behind? Well, what we are doing is trying to make your law firm more competitive and keeping your staff and attorneys more productive while also helping you get more clients. So in that effort, we're going to be every week we show something with technology or social media or business tactics and strategies or marketing, so on and so forth. So today, Benny, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about Microsoft Teams, and specifically in Teams, we're talking about meetings, how to set up meetings, how to join meetings, and how to schedule meetings. So you can set up meetings on the fly or schedule them as well.
Now, what part are we covering again? Because I'm lost. I'm just kidding. No, Dave, you know what you're doing?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Let's rock and roll. Vinny, you want to just go ahead and dive right into it? This is what we call a deep dive, slow and steady. Let's go ahead and show people what we're going to show them in Microsoft Teams. Let me mention before you start. Hold on. Let me mention before you get started. If you like this video, please, by all means, hit the like button and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Be sure to share it out. But if you don't do anything else, go to this link and join our No Law Firm Left Behind group in LinkedIn. And the reason I want to send you there is because we have an exclusive post-show show where we do a Q&A. And you can only get that through the No Law Firm Left Behind group. And if I'm gonna take the link off the screen, all you gotta do is search for No Law Firm Left Behind on LinkedIn. All right, Benny. Now that I got that shameless plug in there, go for it, my friend.
All right, do me a favor and spotlight the screen there for me.
There you go. How's that?
Great. So I'm going to show a few different ways that you can create meetings and schedule meetings. So there's different things you can do. You can create meetings on the fly, or you can schedule meetings. So this is my Outlook, and I'm specifically in the calendar portion of my Outlook. And so you can create, because Teams is integrated into Outlook, you can create meetings from here. Now, the first thing, obviously, is by clicking the new meeting, the new Teams meeting button here. And what that does is it creates the calendar event for you. You would schedule it just like you would do a normal meeting. So you put your required attendees, your optional attendees, date and time. But if you notice down below, it puts the link. If you have the feature for the calling, it's just an add-on. By the way, if you need it, just contact us, let us know. And then it puts the conference ID in there and such, where people can go in and log in through there. Another option is and actually, I just realized that was not showing. So I'm going to show you real quick again, because I had it on the wrong screen. Pardon me.
Oh, yeah, you're running out of screens.
I'll bring that back up. All right, so here it is again. Again, fill out your meeting. Here's the meeting information in regards to join the folks that join the meetings and such. All right.
Lenny, can I ask you a question? Because I know a lot of people have this question. Okay.
Yep.
Can you get a meeting so that meeting link stays persistent, like it's my meeting all the time?
Yes, you can schedule the same meeting all the time. So what you would do is just you can set up a reoccurrence if you have a regular reoccurrence. And then there's some meeting options that you can go into to set that. It might not be a set time, but you may want to use this meeting on demand potentially. Mm-hmm. So I'll show you a couple of things in a moment from Teams on how we can do that. All right. But just another quick thing here is, let's say you're setting up a new meeting and you decide, hey, by the way, I actually want this to be a Teams meeting. That's not a problem. I have a regular appointment open here. I can add my attendees, right? So I can add Jim as my attendee, and then I say, oh, I forgot, this is a Teams meeting. I click on the Teams button, and there it goes. It puts the information in there. Like I said, if there was a phone number there where you can call in, it would show up in that meeting as well. All right, that's because I'm in the demo, we don't have that option turned on, but I can show you in my meeting for today, for example, this one, you can see that it has the phone number there where they can dial in the conference ID, right? And we do have that option turned on for SpliceNet. All right.
Yeah, a lot of people want to add the logo, by the way. So I mentioned since you showed that logo, that's actually done in the Teams administrative console, so that everyone that starts a meeting in your organization will get that logo. And you can have some other special text in there for meetings and stuff like that too.
Yep. So that's a couple of ways you can add it, create meetings from Outlook, but you can also create meetings directly from Teams. And you can do this as well from different areas of Teams. The most obvious area to create a meeting is from your calendar. Now, please note that unless you have Exchange 2016 or Microsoft 365, which automatically has the newest version of Exchange, you won't see this calendar feature here. So if you're in a hybrid situation, you may need to upgrade your Exchange server. But in your calendar option here, if you go to your calendar, you can create a new meeting. And what you will do is, again, this is the same as Outlook. You fill in the details. You add your required attendees. So I have a couple of, since this is a demo account, I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of the demo users here. And I'm going to set this up for 10:30 to 11 o'clock. And so I'll add a title. If I want to add it to a particular channel, in Teams, there are things called channels. We haven't covered those yet, but we'll get to those in a later week. I can add it to a particular channel. In this case, I'm just going to say I'm going to add it to this one. You don't necessarily need to add a location, but we can. This is just like a regular meeting, not like you add in the different pieces of information for folks to know what this is about.
And they get it as an Outlook invite, right?
Correct. So once I send this, it'll go as an Outlook invite, but it'll also show up in their Teams calendar as well. Yep. So as you can see, I just created this demo meeting here. The invite was sent to the two different folks as well. You can also schedule meetings from chat. So if you want to go to chat, we talked about this last week, where we can do video calls and conference calls. Those are meetings on the fly. But you can also go to the specific Teams channel. So I was in this channel here, and I click on General. You can see that the meeting is there, but I can also schedule a meeting from here as well. If I'm in that channel and I don't want to switch out to my calendar for whatever reason it is, I can schedule a meeting within the channel as well. So really quick, that's just a bunch of different ways you can create meetings. You can create it from Outlook, from the calendar event itself, or from the toolbar, and then you can create it from within Teams, from your calendar feature or from the channel itself.
So there's a question, and why would I want to do it in a channel? And so the simple of that, guys, is because, Vinny, would you agree it's a nice place to kind of keep an organized place where we had all of our meetings, plus the people in that channel that are members of that channel. I know we haven't talked about channels yet, but the members of that channel would be the only people that could automatically join that meeting if they wanted to.
Yeah, so adding it to the channel automatically makes it accessible to everyone who has access to that channel, is what Jim is saying. So yeah. I didn't have to invite individuals to that if they're in that channel already. One more thing I forgot to do is, or forgot to show is, let's say, for example, this meeting here, I can also invite external folks to this meeting. So I'm going to invite Jim.
Again, we're in a demo tenant here, so he actually is typing in my email address versus just picking a person.
So I'm inviting Jim. And even though we're on the demo agent, he's not a person within my team's organization. I can still add him using his email address, and it will send him an invite to his email.
And I'll actually show that in a little while.
Yep.
All right. Anything to add to that one, Dave?
No, no, sounds good to me.
All right. You want to bring your screen up?
Let's do it.
Rock and roll. So, Dave, what are you going to cover?
So, Vinny just talked about how to create these meetings and get those requests sent out, whether it's from within Outlook or from within the Teams app itself. What I'm going to talk about is the recipient's action. How do you join a meeting that's been scheduled? And just like on the creation side, where we can create meetings from Outlook or Teams, we can
Dave,
also.
I'm going to interrupt you here. Jim, can you switch over to Dave's screen?
Yeah, it's up, isn't it?
No,
you
I
have
just
my
put
screen.
my background.
Sorry. You know what? I know what happened. My apologies. Go ahead.
I'm just waiting for it to come up.
We are seeing the Restream Studio, Dave.
Okay, there we go. Excellent. So just like Vinny said, you can create meetings from within Outlook or from within the Teams app itself. You can also join a meeting from within the Teams app or within the Outlook app. And so what I'm going to do is show a couple different ways that we can join these meetings that were sent out from both of these locations. We're going to start in Outlook. And what I'm going to do is we're in our inbox. We're in our inbox preview mode. I've got a couple features turned on. You may or may not have these features turned on in your own Outlook. So if you go and you look and you don't see a certain thing, you might just need to turn something on, a setting on that you don't have. So I've got this test meeting that Pradeep, which is Vinny in the demo tenant, has sent over to me. And you'll see that I've got the invite highlighted. It pulls up the meeting request. Now, ignore the fact that I've not accepted or rejected or any of that stuff. But what you'll notice is the bottom link here, the Join Microsoft Teams Meeting, that button that Vinny included when he created the meeting in Outlook, if I click on that, it will join that meeting. Okay. I'm not going to go ahead and complete this over and over again. So going forward, you'll just know that when I hit this button, it would take me to the interface to join the Teams meeting. Additionally, if I've got, say I'm somewhere else in another email, I've still got this option for the to-do bar, and I've got that turned on. And so that'll show what I have scheduled for today. Well, again, we've got this demo meeting right here, and we have a button that says join online. If I were to click on that button, it would take me to the setting to join the meeting as well. Okay. Let's say I'm over here working on something else, and all of a sudden that meeting is ready to start. Well, we all get, we should all be familiar with, the Outlook reminder pop-ups that come up. If you get a pop-up for a meeting that is a Teams meeting, in addition to showing it like we normally would, it will include the Join Online button right here. So if there's a Teams meeting that you're being reminded on, you'll be able to jump right into that Teams meeting from the reminder itself. That's all just within your inbox, not even being in your Outlook calendar. Once we get into our Outlook calendar, we've got a couple ways as well. So you can see, I'm going to go ahead and just go to day view here.
Make it a little. You have a pretty light day.
It's pretty standard for me. I don't do much. So once I'm in here, I can actually open up an appointment, and then I have a button at the top that basically says join Teams meeting. So that's one way. Again, just like from the preview from the invite, if I open up the calendar appointment, I will also have the link at the bottom in this signature area that says join the Microsoft Teams meeting from there.
Dave, I think it's worth mentioning right here on that. Can you go back to that real quick? I think it's worth mentioning when Vinny demonstrated that create Teams meeting button at the top there. As soon as that button is clicked, it immediately adds the join Microsoft Teams meeting information link in the calendar event, but it also immediately changes the button to a join Teams meeting even before you send it.
Right.
I happen to see that as well.
Yep. All right. So we have the ability to actually join a Teams meeting right from the calendar itself without going into it. So I've got a particular meeting selected. I can go up to the join Teams meeting from there as well. Okay. So these are all ways without even having to open the Teams app that you can get into a Teams meeting. This is incredibly important that you understand this when you're inviting external users, because they might not ever really get into their Teams app regularly. They might not use Teams at all, but if you create a Teams meeting, they would get these invites in Outlook. They would be able to click that link at the bottom. They'll be able to join into the meeting from there. Moving over to Teams. And again, this is just the flip side of all the things that Vinny just showed us. We're going to start from the channel where Vinny had added the demo meeting. And I would have the ability to, and yep, I'm going to show that real quick. Let me actually show this. So what happened is Vinny just started the meeting. Once a meeting's scheduled, it doesn't really do anything until somebody goes in and starts the meeting. If I've been invited to a meeting and that meeting starts, you'll notice I get a prompt here. The demo meeting is started and well, it went away, but you saw that join button at the bottom and you'll be able to join the meeting right from there. It also shows that it's live here in the channel, and I can hit the join button from here. If this join button was not here, let's say the meeting had not started yet, I would have the ability to go in to the meeting itself, and here I've got my link again, and I've got the join button up here. So you can see there's a lot of different ways that we can join a meeting from the channel itself. All those same things apply if I'm in my calendar view. So I've got all these different meetings in here. I could click into one and hit join. Or since this one's live, it actually has the join button right here. I click that, and then it would take me to my options for joining the meeting. Let's take just like 2 seconds. Jim, you're not planning on covering this, are you?
Yeah, Jim is going to cover the toolbars in the meetings.
Yeah, I'm just going to do the toolbars. Actually, I don't think I'm going to be able to do the joining the meeting from the mobile device here, guys.
Okay, got it. So real quick, and I'll let Jim handle all the toolbars, but Jim, I'm going to just mention real quick that whenever and wherever you hit the join meeting from, there's an additional step before you actually go into it. And this tells you, do you want to have your web camera on? Do you want to use the video blur function, which I'm not going to show you. I'll let Jim show you all that. Do you want your microphone to be on? You've got the ability to set what speaker and which video camera you want to use. So you can set all those various options.
Actually, I'm kind of surprised the blur the background is unavailable.
Well, yeah.
Oh, it's probably because you're using the camera.
Right.
Because you're using the camera in the restream.
Yep.
But yeah, they added that option to blur your background even before they join the meeting.
Yep. So, I mean, these are all the various ways. So on Vinny's side, you can create a meeting, this way, this way, this way, or this way. On the recipient side, you could join the meeting this way, this way, this way, this way. The important thing is that, especially because the integration between Teams and Outlook, it's really easy. So, there's our little pop-up again. Demo meeting.
A little bit.
Again.
So people can see that.
Great. Thank you. And that's really all I have for joining meetings.
Yeah, so that's fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join the meetings so that everybody can see what it takes to join a meeting. Now, probably what I'll need is once I'm in a lobby, guys, one of you guys will have to share the screen. Which one of you guys want to share your screen so you can show me waiting in the lobby? Hold on. Vinny, I think you might be muted still.
You're muted. Can't hear you.
Okay. That's okay. I'll tell you what, Vinny, when I
Teams took over my mic on the restream, over the restream.
I figured as much. So when I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and then show you how to join, I'm going to join the meeting that Vinny started. Vinny, you haven't started?
Yep, I can restart it. I stopped it, but I can restart it. Yep.
And I'm playing the role of an external attendee. I'm not part of the organization. I'm somebody else out in the world, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody that's not part of their Microsoft Teams organization. And so I'm going to show how I join it, and then I'm going to join it as a member of the organization. So I'm going to do two things here: one, an external party, and two, somebody internally. I'm going to join it, but I can only do it one at a time. So actually, my teams can only do one at a time. All right. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Tell me when you guys can see this. Where am I at? That'll make everybody dizzy for a minute. All right, we good there?
Yep.
So I have I've brought up the meeting invite. So this is the meeting invitation that I received from Vinny, who is playing the character of Pradeep. And so as you can see here, I've got the Microsoft join Microsoft Teams meeting link. So I'm going to go ahead and click that, and I'm going to join. Notice, by the way, it pops up into a web browser. So again, I'm a person that's not part of the organization. I don't necessarily have Microsoft Teams. I just received an email from these guys, and it's got a join link in it. Okay. And guys, add anything that you found, different flavors of this. Are you seeing the web page, guys?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So add any flavor that you see to this at any point. Now, what do I do if I'm a person that's not in this Teams organization? Well, I wouldn't probably have this. Well, I may or may not have Microsoft Teams. But if I have Microsoft Teams in my company, I could go and click the link and say, open Microsoft Teams. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pretend I'm somebody that doesn't have Microsoft Teams. So there is a Windows app that I can download and join the meeting. And it runs in Windows pretty fine. Just, it works just well. In addition to that, I could just run it in the browser alternatively. Now, when I run it in the browser, I'm running it as part of the web browser, and I can have a lot of functionality. Screen sharing isn't one of them. Well, I can do screen sharing, but I can't take over their screen, and they can't take over my screen. In addition to that, this continue in the browser works very well on the mobile devices. It's probably, if somebody doesn't have Teams, it's probably what I would go to for somebody that doesn't have Microsoft Teams on their device. Guys, is that what you're experiencing well?
So yeah, let me just add in a couple little things there. One thing that you mentioned there, Jim, is the ability to control somebody's screen. And that there's actually another place. I don't want to get real technical, but there's a setting that needs to be set if you're wanting to allow screen control with people that aren't inside your organization. Okay,
Correct.
so I'm going to point that out.
Yep.
That's an administrative control, right?
Yes, on the Teams admin portal.
Yep,
so the administrator has to give that ability well beforehand, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing I'll tell you, and I don't know how many people have this situation. I have this situation a lot. I have two different Microsoft Teams accounts. And there are many times when I have to be in both of them at the same time. Now, on the mobile app, you can be logged into both at the same time, and you can flip back and forth. Now, you might not get all your notifications, but you're consistently logged into both, which is great. On the desktop app, you're logged into one account at a time. You can easily sign out and sign in, but then you're logging out of one of them. What I generally will do is I will have my SpliceNet Teams account logged into the Teams app, and then I will run the other account that I need to be in the web browser simultaneously. That way I'm connected to both and can work in both at the same time. So that's a huge reason why even though I use Teams all the time, I still use the web app pretty regularly.
Yeah, that's actually a Microsoft recommendation. It came through Microsoft to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great way to do it. So, all right, moving on.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and join it. Open my Teams app because I already have it. Right, go right to my meeting. So it's going to bring that prompt back up, and I'm going to say open in Microsoft Teams. And so I have the options to turn my camera on or off at the time. I'm going to turn my camera off for the moment. I'm going to turn my microphone off for the moment. I don't want to trip over the restream. And I'm going to join. Now, what's happening, and Vinny or Dave's going to show it. Who's going to show it? Who do we say?
I'll show it.
Okay. So Vinny's going to show it on his side. Remember to mute your microphone, Vinny. And so there's Vinny through Teams. Let me hop over into our live stream and switch over to Vinny's camera. Vinny's screen, Vinny's desktop here. And I'm going to hide myself. Dave, I'm just going to hide you for a second. You're good, Vinny. Go ahead.
All right. So, I'm
already in the meeting.
Yeah. So you wanted to show the guest, right?
Yeah, I wanted to show waiting in the lobby.
Yeah. So you need to use the Jim Gast, join with the Jim Gast one, so you can see that. So I can see that.
Right. Did not do that. Well, you know what? I did not. Okay. So Vinny, I'll tell you what. You're just going to show where it's at.
Yep. One of the things that we can do is we can look at show participants. And basically what would happen is I invited Alex, I invited Megan, and they both, Megan showed up, Alex is not. I actually can ask Alex to join, and that would call him, right, as the meeting organizer. The other thing that would happen is I also invited Jim. Because he's an outside user, he's not going to be on this list. But when he does come in, there would be another area here that says waiting in the lobby, and that would put him in a holding spot until I admit him in. So here's the waiting in lobby. Jim just joined from outside the organization, as you can see, and I can either say deny this participant or I can allow him. Once I admit him, he will then be on the list here of people who are currently in the meeting.
All right. And I'm going to go ahead and take it back over here, Vinny, and spotlight my screen. And then while I'm in that meeting, Vinny, you want to go ahead and just turn off your video? Well, you can keep your video on, I guess. I'm going to turn off. I'm going to go over this toolbar here while we're in the meeting. First and foremost, you can see that we're timing the meeting here. Okay. I can turn my video on or off. I'm going to leave the video off because I got a webcam that's already actually taking over. Vinny, do you have me still?
Yep, I turned off my video to avoid any lag.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So because we're doing a restream, because we're doing a live stream, we can't exactly show all of the functions because we're using our cameras and microphones for the restream. But I can turn my video on and off, turn my microphone on or off. And in the meeting, I can share my screen. So what if I wanted to share my desktop or I wanted to share an application or something like that? I could click that it was a little up arrow before. Okay, see it's a square with an up arrow. I can click it and it brings up this and it says, what do you want to share? Well, in particular, I might want to share my Outlook or I might share a Word document. But what if something I have has audio attached to it, like a YouTube video? Hey, look at this YouTube video, this training video. I would have to check this include system audio checkbox so that the audio from whatever I'm showing passes through. Now remember, this is separate than our microphone. Our microphone is completely different. Okay, that's always on or off depending on whether you're using it or not, or whether it's muted. So that's what you can do there. The ellipses, I'll fire through this. Dave kind of showed this is where you set up your microphone and speakers and so on and so forth, and your camera. Right. Then the meeting notes are the nice place to keep notes organized with the meeting, and this is accessible to anyone during the meeting or after the meeting. So you can keep notes organized with the meeting. We do this for our morning huddle. Full screen mode is nice because it brings everything full screen, hides the toolbars on the left-hand side. You can always exit to full screen as well. By the way, a lot of people ask me, what happens if the toolbar disappears? Just move your mouse. Maybe you want to show some background effects in the meeting. You can click on that and you have a whole host of background pictures, plus you can add your own. I happened to grab these last week, but I'm not gonna be able to show it because again, we can't grab the video. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. Thanks, Vinny.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm using my Surface camera. That's why I'm using an external camera for the live stream. I'm using my Surface camera there. So you can also add your own backgrounds too with using the Add New at the top. Have a little fun. Turn off or on live captions. This is in preview. So right now, as I'm speaking, it's pulling up a bar right now at the bottom that would probably interpret what I'm saying, but my microphone is muted. Isn't that funny? So I'm going to unmute the microphone. And see, once I've unmuted the microphone, it starts to put in captions. So if you want to listen in quiet mode somewhere, you can kind of capture most of what's being said. I'm probably getting some reverberation from my cell phone. That's a new one. That's newer. Notice it's in preview. And I know we're running over, but I wanted to show it. Start or stop recording. Maybe you want to record the meeting for posterity. Maybe you're doing some training. So you record the meeting, and that recording goes into Microsoft Stream. If I'm not mistaken, that's the default location for it. That's something an administrator would have to look at to make sure. But those recordings are very useful because I
had to mute you, Jim, because you were getting a lot of echoes there. By the way, that's one of the things you can do as meeting organizers. You can mute somebody without having to get a hold of them.
Yeah, that's a good, I'll show that. So you can see right here that Vinny is in here at Pradeep. If I wanted to, I could mute him. He's an administrator, so I can't exactly mute him. Or actually, he's already muted. That's why I can't. But if there was somebody in here that was not muted, I could mute them. Finally, so you can record, turn off incoming video. So if you're having a lot of problems with bandwidth and people are using their cameras, you don't have to ask them to turn off their cameras. You can kind of turn off the incoming stream. And then finally, I think very useful is a conversation. So you can have, if you have to paste something in the meeting that somebody needs, you can actually just go ahead and grab it somewhere and paste it in there. So I just paste a web link, and that would be available to everyone else in the meeting too.
Jim?
Yeah, go ahead.
There's one thing I want to add about that, and I'm assuming this is coming someday, but I don't think it's here yet. And this is just a caveat to people. We use the chat all the time to share information when we're in a meeting. But one of the things that I've never been able to find is you don't have the ability to print and save that chat somewhere else once you leave the meeting. So if there's something that has a little bit more permanence to it, just be aware that there are other places that you'd probably be better served to post that information, okay? Just a little.
Yeah, you're right. I'd probably put it in a channel or something like that, somewhere you can print it.
Yep.
So then you want to, I'm going to pop you on the screen. Can you show your teams where that shows on your conversations on your side?
Me?
Yeah. You mind?
Sure.
And I'll spotlight once you get it up. I can see where you're at. So you got to go to the meeting.
Here's the demo meeting. And did you post in that meeting?
I posted it in the meeting. So go into the meeting, actually. Click on the meeting.
Into the meeting notes. So you would want to go to the meeting notes.
Well, that's actually a little bit different. Go to the chat.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, go click on the Megan face. Maybe I wasn't. Click on the actual Megan face. Make it full screen. Just click on it.
Yeah. So that I did see. So that the conversation. So you're talking about the conversation.
The conversation. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the other place. Guys, I think that really kind of gets it. You think there's anything left we didn't cover, Vinny?
How to leave the meeting.
I think we're good. So once I hang up,
that's it.
It leaves the meeting. Everybody gets kicked out of the meeting.
You can dismiss somebody from the meeting too.
Yes, you can. Yep. All right.
All right. Let's hop off here. Hey, again, if you're not a member of No Fall From Left Behind, go grab the link I'm going to put the link back up on the screen so that everyone knows what it is. We've got a post-show we got to get into in a minute here, but this is the link. I wish LinkedIn would give it. Hi, Vinny. I wish LinkedIn would give us better links, but unfortunately they do not. Here, how's this, Vinny? Now nobody feels slighted except for Dave's chin. So I wish they gave us better links. They don't. Listen, we're going to have an exclusive post-show show. The link is in the No Law Firm Left Behind group. And we're going to cover Q&As and such in that post-show show. It's free to join the group, and it's free for the post-show show. If you like the video, if we helped you out in some way, like this for us, okay? We really appreciate it, and share it on LinkedIn. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right.
Great job.
Take care. Have a good one.
Have a great day.
All right, Hank, don't